I'm addicted to the game. I don't know if I want to work till I die, essentially, right? But I like solving problems. Like, that's what I really get off on. And if I had $1 billion, I don't know if I would necessarily work to get to 2 billion. Once I'm done, I don't need to make any more money, but my brain's still good, I'm still active. I want to find my other friends that also like to figure shit out and fix a problem in society. Take our skills, our leadership skills, our marketing skills, our finance skills, and just pick something that nobody can fix, fucking homelessness, hunger, something, and get these people together and be like, yo, let's just crack this shit like we crack campaigns, like we crack businesses. Like, let's just do something for the love of it. There's so many people in our industry, myself, everyone else, we love the beginning of the business when you figure shit out, you crack it, you undo it, you hustle. And then once it's running smooth, you're kind of like, it's boring. Yeah. It's like the cat with the string. If the string is bouncing around and they can't catch it, they love it. You can put it on the ground. If it's not bouncing around, they don't want that shit anymore. Yeah. It's what we can't get. And that's what I really like about business, is trying to figure that shit out.
Man, this is fucking, my mind's already blown over here. Shout out to our sponsors, because without them, this shit wouldn't be possible. Shout out to Ringba. Shout out to Adam Young, the paper call revolution. There's big, big money in paper call, whether you're someone who's a novice looking to get into it, whether you're someone who's already doing it, putting up big numbers. Let's fucking do this, guys. Get the fucking book on Amazon. We're going to drop a link here. Take your shit to the next level. Let's fucking go.
Guys, it's Boris. I'm on the LFG Show. Don't forget, we have Contact.io coming up, the biggest and best show for call centers. If you're going to be in Denver, you need to use promo code LFG.
Let's fucking go, baby. Save $200. Put that promo code in. Get there. Make a lot of money. See Boris and I. Let's fucking make this happen.
We'll be there.
Boom. We're back. We're in New York City in Tribeca. This is the hottest market in New York City. I'm fucking pumped to be back. I was in Miami in the floods. Today I'm with a very special guest. I'm with my man, James Van Elswyk.
My man.
We got a lot of history together. You know, I owe a lot to him. I learned so much from working with him. He does a lot of things. He's the owner of Symphony Agency, also Geek Out, which is one of the probably the best education community in our industry, in e-com and in lead gen. So I'm fucking excited to have you in the show, my man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Dude, you've done so much for me, man. We had a good run, dude.
Huge run.
Great run, dude.
Yeah, we're referring to a run we had, I think it was 2016 to 2020 in solar. And one thing we're going to talk about here, which is going to be very big, is in our industry, everyone's always looking for where's the money flowing to, right? And where the money's flowing, what's a hot offer? What's like an under-the-radar offer, and getting that early? And that's essentially what solar was. You guys were doing solar for a couple of years. You and Daniel were doing solar, what, 2014, 2015? Yeah. And we hooked up in 2016.
Exactly. And in 2014... it was still good.
Yeah.
It was real good back then. It was very cheap to make leads. The buyers didn't understand what the value of the leads were, so you could charge a lot. It was really the right time to be in that one.
Yeah. So going back, what happened was you had some big clients, right? I think it was like Solar City or someone, right?
Yeah, we had started out with some big foundation, kind of what we call garbage can buyers, big enough to take everything. And then we really built out with you.
Yeah.
A more diversified amount of buyers, so that we could have, like, you know, the little guys, they pay more, but it allowed us to get like a higher overall average per lead. Yeah,
and I want to go break that down, because what happened was I had just started my company, Solar Direct Marketing, and it was like really interesting circumstance. And I'm a firm believer that the harder you work and the better you are to people, the luckier you get, right? So that was one of those circumstances. One of my best friends just got a job at a solar company, and he didn't know what was going on. He was like, I can't get leads. What do I do? I'm like, bro, I have leads for you. And I was just giving them, I don't know, I was doing like a few thousand a week, nothing crazy, making some money as a side hustle. And then I reconnected with you. I met you in 2012. It was with some financial carbon credits, We're trying to buy
You're
data.
still in my phone as David Carbon Guy, dude.
That's so great.
I've never changed it.
Yeah, that's so fucking great. So we didn't get any. We almost got something going, but then we reconnected with Daniel Javor, and then I'm like, bro, I know you. And then, man, we were able to scale that. We went from, a few thousand a week to 10. Then we were doing like 7 figures a month on solar.
Yes.
It's just beautiful how that happened.
Yeah, it was great. Like the buyer that we started with you, they had like 15 sales guys. Like, it was nothing. If you remember back then, there was nothing. I don't think they were even on a dialer yet.
No, they weren't.
And now they got like over 1,000 employees. Man. And it was awesome for them. It was awesome for us. Everybody made a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was really glory days early.
Yeah, and that's really the true win-wins, right? You guys had a need. You had the supply, but the buyer was out of the market. I think they went out of business, the Solar City or groups, whatever. And then I brought one. Then I brought another one, then another one, then another one. And then,
Just stacked.
dude, and we just grew together, and then they grew. That's the beauty of this business when it works for everybody. It was a true win-win at the end of the day.
Yes. And
right?
it works a lot easier for you on the front end, the lead generation side, when the people on the back end are making money because they have more budget, they can pay a higher CPL. The leads were quality.
Yeah.
Without being aggressive, the leads were quality, so the leads worked great for them. It really was. When you're early, it usually is win-win-win.
Yeah, and that's what I want to talk about. Put a lot of focus on being early, and you've been in this industry for, I don't know, about 20 years, about 15, 20 years.
Getting there close,
Yeah.
man. Getting
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
And we were talking offline about, right now there's a lot of shit going on with ACA, a lot of insurances, and that was hot for a while. We're always looking for what's hot and how to make money, and there's a lot of nervousness going on, what's going on there. But back when you started, you were in debt. He was in debt back in 2008. Those are the golden days, right? For debt.
It was 2008.
Yeah.
I was in debt settlement. So I've everyone now is like, oh, debt, this is amazing vertical. I've seen it blow up 3 times.
Yeah.
I was there in the beginning when it was like $13 to $15 to make a lead, 23, 24K average debt load. Like, it was sweet, because it was the beginning. It was actually pre-regulation. Then I went through regulation. That killed it. Then it popped up again, and now it's here for the 3rd time, really. Really blowing up, at least,
Yeah.
And now it, like, not to be negative, but it kind of sucks now because the lead buyers, they know exactly what their cost per lead needs to be, how their metrics back out, where because there's not as much meat on the bone, and obviously the cost to make leads, Facebook and everything's got expensive. When you get there early, they were willing to pay a lot for a lead because there was still tons of money for everybody.
Yeah.
And it just gets harder as costs go up,
Yeah, that's very true. I remember there's a book called, and I know you're a big reader, man. You're just one thing I love about you, and I think one reason you've been so successful is that you're always learning, and you've lived all over the world. And I feel like when you go there, you get immersed in the culture, and you take a little piece of that with you wherever you go. And I feel I'm the same way, right? And a lot of successful people that way. But there's a book you ever read Liar's Poker?
Yeah.
Yeah, great book. And he talks about, I used to sell mortgage-backed securities. And back in, I sold them in like 2003. He talks about back in the 1980s, like no one knew the value of these things, and like everyone was making money. People buying, the people selling. It was one of those markets where it was a wide spread. So that's essentially, and I used to be a bond broker, right? And there were spreads. So what I do now, essentially the same shit. What we do is when we sell leads, we're finding a spread. You make it for this price, you sell it. How do you make it work for everybody, right?
Exactly. And in the start of a marketplace, there's always a bigger spread because there's still inefficiencies in the costing model, the revenue model. And as time goes on and shit gets more sophisticated, there becomes a balance and there's just less money for everybody to chop up. I mean, it's just the way that it happens when markets mature,
Yeah.
And obviously there's risk versus reward because you start in early in a marketplace. Yeah, maybe there's greater margin, but it's not as stable. Maybe it's not going to work. There's not as many buyers, but there's more potential profit. There's just bigger gross margins when you start out in something like that.
Yeah, solar is a great example because you had Solar City, which you think that Tesla thing would be good for them, but like it fucked up everything, right? Then you lose them, and like what? But then after that, all these other companies got spawned, and that's what created that opportunity to really grow.
The first company's kind of Scrooge usually. I think the ones that are like the 3rd or 4th that can work off the mistakes of the trailblazers that actually make a bunch. But like you look at solar, right? Like we were getting 110 a lead in New Jersey all day, and the buyers loved it, and the cost per lead was cheap. Like there was just margin. There was no efficiency in the pricing and supply and demand. It just worked for everyone.
Yeah.
That was really great, profitable times.
And you look like a hero when you do it right too, because at the end of the day, these companies grow, you grow with them, and you're their edge is what it comes down to. And they almost don't want anyone to know that who the fuck you're getting them from. It's so funny.
When you get to a good market in the beginning, you're like a fucking magician.
Yeah.
And then fast forward 5 years, they hate affiliates. They think everyone's a scumbag. But in the beginning, they like love you, taking you to dinner. Holy cow, you're blowing up our business. That's when it's nice.
That's when you're a real partner. And I remember feeling great because it's one of my best friends. He was building out the call center. I made him look like a hero. I'm looking good. I'm making money. You're making, like, everybody was winning. And that's really the best part. And fortunately, it doesn't always last that way because, like you said, it gets more saturated.
Yeah, exactly.
Price of leads go up, whatever. But before we go into that, I want to talk about the next thing. You were doing loan mods after debt, right? Which is like, it's just unbelievable. We firmly believe this market will come back at some point.
I think loan mods will come back because if you take a look, like the rotation, right? You had a lot of credit card debt. And then people started pulling back on lending. You had a lot of mortgages, and obviously there's a lot of shady stuff going on with mortgages. But loan mod was a premium lead generation vertical, right? Because people were really motivated to deal with their problems. I'm not smart with financial stuff, but if you take a look at like the current environment, it wouldn't be surprising if we run into a big housing crisis that people can't afford to live where they are, and that'll turn into a big lead gen opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. So debt, loan mods, solar,
Then student loan.
Oh, student loans. I forgot. Damn, that's a
Yeah.
beauty. He's done so many things, right? And that's what makes experience is the best teacher, right?
I don't know how I get so lucky, dude, but I just keep switching. I just try to get there. Like, I'm an opportunist, right? So I
Yeah.
just try to get there before everyone else. I was in student loan. We were one of the first call centers to do it big, for sure.
Yeah.
And I failed, right? Eventually, the student loan business went out of business. I went out of business, hit really rock bottom with student loan. But I was early, but maybe a little bit too early to understand it. But that was another juicy one for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like, I know we had the run with solar, right? You started, and one thing about us, we have so much history. I mean, you know, when I'm going to talk about Geek Out next. How many Geek Outs have you done? 10, 12?
Oh, way more than that by now, dude.
Bro,
Probably
that's
like
insane.
25.
I wish I went to the one in Kiev. I heard that one was sick. I've been to a lot of them.
This was crazy.
Yeah.
Kiev was like nothing else. Just, dude, the experience, and because of the costs being so much less, when we invested into it, like we threw a party. We spent 50 G's on a party, rented a nightclub, performers, magicians, DJs, everything. That would have been like 600 G's here.
Yeah.
So because of the cost differential, we could do crazy stuff. Everybody had chauffeured cars. We had special reception at Border Patrol. Everyone shot AK-47s and tanks.
You had tanks,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, it was really a wild event. It was really a wild event.
Yeah.
But, you know, hopefully we get another one that's an experience like that.
That'd be all.
Were you in Dubai?
I wasn't in Dubai. No, I don't think I've been to any international ones.
Dubai was also dope. We like had like these Bedouins build a camp in the middle of the desert and had a party. That was also a good one.
Yeah, and the reason I mentioned that is that I think that you saw a need in the marketplace for education. There really wasn't. I mean, when I first started, there were some Facebook groups and something which are good. Don't get me wrong, but the community that you've built has been incredible. And I was just at the one in New York, I don't know, 3 weeks or a month ago. That was amazing. That we were just talking offline about the people that were there were like real heavy hitters. People flew in from all over the world, all over the country. It's very pertinent. You had the CEO or ex-CEO of Under Armour speak.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, what, $50 billion, $100 billion company? I mean, that's fucking rare.
That was really powerful.
Yeah.
I got to give credit to Stan on that one. Stan from Retriever was like, dude, I got to bring in some hitters from this. And he brought in that gentleman from Under Armour, Kip, and then also Bo Nichols, the wrestler, to kind of like round it out. Like everyone in the room was high level, like from a media buying point of view. So sometimes you got to give a little something extra because you can't really even teach them about media because they're so good.
Something else to get an edge or look outside the box, right, from what they're doing, which I think that's exactly what you guys do. I mean,
that's it.
Yeah.
That really is
and
it.
it's not only just the education, it's the network that's there. I mean, everyone that's there is a heavy hitter. You know, it's they pay the money to get there, they travel. They're not going to do that if it's not, you know, if they're not making some shit happen. And they're looking for an edge at the end of the day. And I think that you've been successful at finding edges, right, and maximizing those edges. And I think that's what your community gives people the ability to do.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, honestly, that's why I kind of created it, was just that I wasn't getting the level of education that matched the level of my intensity and obsessive nature. And I didn't have like the quality education for really high level stuff. I went to a mastermind with the Tan brothers. Definitely shout out to the Tan brothers. I love
big
those
in
dudes.
e-com, right? Huge e-com
they
website.
were like destroying the drop shipping game. And they did a mastermind in Thailand that just opened my eyes to a power of education when done the right way. And I was like, dude, I want this for my stuff. So I figured, okay, I'll just throw events. It'll be fun. It'll be cool. People just hanging out on the couch learning. And then I could get the speakers that I wanted. And I figured it would kind of like cover the costs.
Yeah.
And it didn't really cover the cost for a long time. It was a lot of losses.
Yeah.
And then eventually it just turned a corner and people like kind of resonated with the vibe of like good people just trying to geek out on what we're all obsessed with. And it really has turned into like a very gratifying experience.
And I'll tell you what, when I was in New York, I think I told my wife Alejandra, I was like really, I felt, when I go to the Geek House and I see what's happening, I feel like I get happy, man, because I was at I hope you organized the very first one we did in Vegas.
First one, dude.
It was like 10 people in there.
It's terrible.
It was terrible in the sense, like, I think I was telling people, we got a castle. I don't know what we were, because we thought we had like a mansion.
Dude, this was terrible.
But it wasn't. We got like, what was it, fucking catfish or some shit?
Dude, this was one of the worst thrown events that's like imaginable. Like we rented what was supposed to be a mansion. It was totally catfish, but it was too late. The pool had all this dirt in it. Nobody could even go in there. The sound guy brought his dog, had never done any type of live streaming before, brought his dog. His dog kept barking. It was so bad that one of the attendees like pulled me aside and was like, hey man, I live down the street. Do you want to just do it at my house? Like and people had paid a lot of money to go, but the content was literally the best content
It was phenomenal content
we'd ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, we just over-delivered. Like, it was like 12 hours a day of people explaining like the deepest shit, because I was so nervous that people would get value. But dude, as far as like the event experience, garbage.
Yeah, but the content was. But I remember I was on the couch, and I was like, these guys are gonna kick my ass, because I sold half them people tickets. And I'm like, I'm telling them there's a mansion. I'm like, fuck, I apologize. Listen, we didn't know about it. I think you did. Yeah, you did too. And people, but they didn't give a fuck because the content was there. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it comes out to. What kind of knowledge I'm going to get. Yeah, you want to have a good time. And we took people out at nighttime. It was cool. But to see the evolution where it went from that to the next place. I remember the one in Beverly Hills that I spoke at. What was like a $30 million mansion?
Yeah, that was
that
crazy.
shit was insane, man.
Yeah, we learned a lot about throwing a good event, having content, but also providing like a nice experience where you can network well. We really learned a lot. But dude, some of the people at that first event have come to other ones.
Yeah.
Like 6 years later, 7 years later, they still
Yeah,
came.
that's a testament of a great product, man. And that's why, like, seeing when I went to Beverly Hills, going to New York, I'm like, man, it's great to see the evolution. And it comes down to relationships at the end of the day, because whether you're selling leads or you're throwing an event or whatever it is, you gotta do the right thing. And you know, we said that. I think we took people out that night. Like, we did the right thing by them. They remember.
Yeah.
No one complained. I was like worried. I'm like, man, these guys want to kick my ass, but they didn't give a fuck. And what boggled my mind was that I didn't expect you guys to do this. People were going deep, man. They were going into their ad accounts, showing you their spend, and that's when I realized, wow, you guys have something special here, man. Because who else would fucking do that? Even in New York, I mean, the stuff that they were dropping, like Carter was dropping. I was like, dude, I can't believe he's saying this shit. Like he doesn't have to say that. No, and he's giving his edges away. You know, and that's the beauty.
I gotta say, dude, Carter blessed us. Carter and Coy blessed us so hardcore. Like, I mean, everybody that spoke, but them especially, really showed what they have going on. We never have professional speakers. We never have fluff. It's always like real people. And I always wonder, why are people sharing stuff like this?
Yeah.
And I think it's because they take pride in their craft, but they don't even have a chance to show people how amazing what they do is. And they're just proud of what they do, and they share it with people. And if you're really gangster at what you do, you're not going to really try to hide it. I'm sure there's some like hacks, loopholes that could close soon you don't want to share. But on the whole, that it was really amazing, some of the sharing that took place at that one.
Yeah, mind-boggling. And I agree. I think that they graduate past that scarcity mindset, because everyone I had that in the beginning. I didn't want to tell people shit first couple of years. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm at this point where if they try to take my shit, good luck. You don't got the relationships I have, right? So I don't give a fuck. But yeah, it's really amazing, the content and what goes on there. And I just love it, that what you're able to do. So anyone watching this, you're going to do another event in LA?
Yeah, we'll do another event. I believe we're going to do it in the beginning of November in LA. We have an insane $45 million mansion, can fit like 300 people for a party. We're doing some really crazy stuff at night and everything else. I always say this, but I think it'll be one of our best.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can't emphasize enough. And then not only that, let me give you a story of Geek Out though, too, before I forget. I remember when I spoke at the Beverly Hills one, everyone has heavy hitters. I spoke at that one, and when I speak at events, I want to give my all, right? I don't look at notes. I just come out with fucking heat. And I think I was speaking towards the end, like 5, 6 o'clock. The first speaker, Taylor
Hendrickson.
Bro, this guy, $1 billion, and you were part of that, right? You worked with him on it was a PPP loan campaign.
Yeah.
He comes out, fucking crushes it. I'm like, geez. And then Anthony Sandrea comes out, who just sold his company for like 50, 70 million, something crazy. Brandon Bowsey comes out with some shit. And Phil from Retriever and me are like, how the fuck do we follow these guys up?
I know, dude. That was tough, dude. I felt for everybody because they brought fire. But, dude, you crushed it.
No, thank you.
There was so much learning from you, and everyone was so into it. That event was a great example of, like, when the event works, people will sit in the seat and check shit out the entire time.
100%.
Dude. They went from start to finish. Everybody sat and drained in the content.
Yeah, I remember being nervous because I'm like, I've spoken at a lot of events, man. I've spoken at Affiliate World. I've spoken at so many, and you'll see a lot of those events. There's some quality there, but you have a lot of newbies, right? So no matter what you say, it's like maybe they don't know what's going on. But that one was heavy fucking hitters. Like you can't fake the funk in that event.
No.
It's like playing basketball at Rucker Park here in New York or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're coming, they're gonna bullshit detect. So I'm like, man, I don't, I'm not like about return on ad spend. When it comes to technical, I'm not the guy. I'm the sales guy, biz dev guy. But I brought my aspect, which was different than what other people were coming.
Exactly.
But I got business off of that, man.
That's why
it
we
was
had
great.
you, brother.
Yeah.
Because like, look, there's a lot of ancillary skill sets. Obviously, there's a focus on like media buying, right? But like guaranteed, no matter how good you are, there's someone sitting in the audience that's better at you than a certain area. But as good as these people are at media buying, usually they're really not good in some other areas. And you're Biz Dev King. And I think the evolution of an affiliate, the first real step to stop being a one-man affiliate is learning how to biz dev. Like I think it's one of the most valuable things you can do to take that next step, because essentially the network is biz deving for you. When you take the step and you learn what you're so good at, it's very powerful. It's very powerful, which is why we wanted to have you speak, obviously.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And that's the beauty of your events, because you have the real people are really in the weeds and know about how to get people, to do the ad copy, how to get the best pricing algorithm on Facebook, right? And the stuff like Carter's talking about. Then you got a guy like from Under Armour has built, $50 billion. Another good one, when I was in Austin, you had the guy, or maybe it was San Diego, you had the guy from Uber. He was one of the early investors in Uber. Blew my mind away.
He was great.
Yeah, and then the thing with that is that when you hear that, it makes you think bigger, because there's a lot of money made in our business, no doubt about it, right? There's a lot of risk involved too, but you might be crushing it. You might make more money than you ever thought you could make, and you think, oh, I'm living like a king. But then when you hear another guy who made billions, like a guy from Under Armour, like, bro, I'm not thinking big enough. I need to level the fuck up. And that's one of the things I've gotten from your events, is that I see these people, I'm like, bro, I'm thinking too small. And I don't consider myself a small thinker. But like even being here, like I walked in here, I'm seeing all the art and whatnot. I'm like, bro, I need better. I need to fucking level up my home environment, right? But you need that's what helps you grow as a person. And that's one thing I like about being around you. It's not just the events, but also the events, is that you got to be around people like that. And I think people that you attract people at those events, and people that listen to you on your team that are looking to be next level. And that's the only way you can grow as a person.
When it comes to thinking big, it's like an interesting thing. And I don't remember who I was talking with this a while ago, but like, you can only think big as the horizon you've seen. Like there's a cap on how big your thinking can be if you don't even know this other world exists. Like there's a poker game right here in this apartment, right? And you got dudes that have $1 billion. You got dudes that have like $300-400 million. Like, and it just kind of changes you, because you're like, okay, like 100 mil, that's not that big.
Yeah.
To them, that's like, eh. And you start to realize it just gets bigger and bigger, not like from an envy point of view, but from hey, there's stuff that's way more possible. Because when you hang out with these dudes, especially just sitting around playing Hold'em, they're just normal dudes too. Like they're no smarter than us. They're no better than us. They worked their ass off. They made some right decisions. They had some right place, right time. But it's a potential for anybody to have. Like America truly is the land of opportunity. You can become a billionaire in the same generation. It's not multi-generational. It's a phenomenal thing. And that's part of the reason I moved to New York, was to get into those circles and have that kind of mind expansion,
Yeah, 100%. And I want to talk about that too. You've lived, when I first met you, well, I don't know where you were in 2012, but I think you were in Florida. When I first met you, the second time we reconnected and we started doing solar, you were in Israel. You were in Tel Aviv, right? And I know you were in France. You were in Amsterdam, LA. Now you're here, but I think that's great. And I've moved around my bit too in my share, and I feel like and you lived in Medellin for a while too. I forget about that. Yeah,
exactly.
So I feel like you take a little piece of that for you. But what do you think was the, I like to talk about LFG moments. Like what was, maybe it was on one of those trips, or maybe somewhere you lived. Like what was a moment that made you think I gotta go all in on what I'm doing? Because I know you came from the call center world, right? And then you started making money with leads. Like, but what would you say was that LFG moment for you?
Look, I think that there's a certain aspect to living a lot of places where it creates a discomfort. And like, if we walk around the same neighborhood every single day, our brain gets trapped into a pattern and it's able to just be on autopilot, right? Because it just knows how to go. Whereas if you're driving to somewhere for the first time, you got to use GPS, you got to pay attention. So I think like constantly moving and dropping in new places has forced me to have kind of creativity. When I got to Israel, it was one of the most different places that I'd ever lived in. Both the language, the culture, and the people, and just everybody there was so smart and so hungry and so tech focused that it definitely pushed me to be like, dude, do something cooler. You know, like just it's out there, just do something cooler. And I think that was a big thing for me. And that's right when solar hit. It's right when I linked up with my partner. And I think just even there was so much that happened there, but linking with my partner who's very good at making money and organizing money.
And did you meet him in Tel Aviv? That's where you met? Or?
We actually met in London. We worked together online on Skype for like a year. We didn't even have our cameras on.
Wow.
We went to a conference. It was Affiliate World. Before it was Affiliate World, it was called STM Meetup.
Yeah.
London, maybe like 150, 250 people. And he and I linked up. We finally got to hang out face to face, and we were just like a match. Like it sounds like when you meet a chick, but we just like met each other and just all night, just smoked cigarettes and did some other things and just talked for hours and hours. And then we just kind of kept in touch. And we're like, let's do a lead gen business together. He's like, all right, if we're going to do it, we got to do it in Israel. And when I got there, like media buying there, like people know what that is as a profession. Like you go to a bar and you say, oh, I'm a campaign manager, I run ads. They know somebody that does that, or they do it. So it was just kind of like a wow. These people are hungry and they're doing big things and they understand what to do digitally. And that was like a big turning point for me to be like, all right, I'm going to dig in. I saw that there was a capacity. I saw buildings, right, that are built on digital advertising. And I was like, all right, this is what's up. This is what I need to focus on. So that was my big LFG moment, I think.
I love that story. And I know one story, if you can tell the audience about the story of when you wanted to get in with someone at Facebook, right?
Yeah,
and then
exactly,
you sat, so you sat outside the cafe for days or something?
Exactly. So basically there's a huge Facebook office in Israel, completely outsized to the population. Our office was a few blocks away. And we needed a rep. Like the game has changed in many ways, and there wasn't access to get accounts and rep support. Like you had to get a rep. You had to hustle. It was like so hard. And I just parked out. There was a cafe right in front of the building that all the Facebook office was in. And I just parked out there until I sparked up a conversation and explained what I did and the scale what I did and got us a relationship at Facebook. But it was like strictly just guerrilla style, just waiting there, just drinking coffees every day until I sat down with somebody that could get me in the door.
Yeah, and that's like the old school technique, and that's part of proximity. How do you have to be?
Exactly.
People say getting lucky, people get lucky, but you moved to Israel, right? You guys had the presence of mind. Let's go here. You know, Facebook was there, so you had the proximity. If you were living in New York or somewhere, it would have taken way longer to do it. Maybe you would have never done it, right?
Exactly.
So I think that's for everyone listening. You got to position yourself. You have to know where to go, where the action's at.
The serendipity thing, and I can get like it's people talk about it in kind of like a hippy dippy. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. But if you just look at it from a mathematical, rational point of view, right? If I'm looking for any type of opportunity, I want to just talk to someone that's left-handed with blue eyes. My odds of that happening when I'm hanging out in a group of 10 people is so small, but the odds of it happening when I'm hanging out with 1 million people, it's super high. Like you literally just increase the chances of finding what you're looking for when you're around more people. And you can target that serendipity by going to locations that the people that you want to find hang out at. And it's just, I'm old school as you in the sense that I like face-to-face. I like seeing someone, feeling their vibe, finding it out. And there's just times when you talk to someone and you just know it's it. And it happens sometimes on Zoom. But usually it's I'm in person, I talk with someone, we connect, I get it, I understand who they are, how they roll, and then bam, that's who I want to work with.
I think it's that energy transfer, right? You can't feel that on Zoom. But you get like 10% of that, whereas you're here, we're vibing off each other's energy, right?
In person, humans apparently exchange like 160 signals.
Wow.
Outside of eyes, there's also smells. We can tell if the other person is sick, all of this stuff subconsciously. And I think Zoom is like 2D interaction. And in person is 3D, seeing someone's body language, the rate that they breathe at. Maybe we understand those things on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, we definitely understand it. That's how you can tell how someone's vibe is good, so much better by being in person.
And I think that's one way that you got your edge with media buying and building a team, right? You could sense them with doing that. Because, I mean, I think that what you bring to the table, as opposed to a lot of other people in the industry, some people are good at one thing, but you're good at a lot of things. You got the sales, biz dev aspect of it, right? You know how to run campaigns. You have so many. You know how to spot trends, which we're going to go back to and talk about. But and that's all from the decades of doing this and so forth. So I think that's what makes you like the ultimate, person. And if there was like a Hall of Fame in there, you'd be first ballot, in my opinion.
Thank
And
you,
I'm not
brother.
just saying
I
that.
appreciate that, dude.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I believe that.
I
Because that's
really
what
appreciate that.
If there's like an avatar of the ideal, person in the industry, that's who you are. So I think that, like, again, it goes back to people listening, consume James's content, go to the Geek Outs, because there's so much fucking knowledge, not just from you, but the people that you cultivate. When you go there, I mean, you're vetting people out. And I think the people, going back to the Geek Out, I think that, was it 30 million is the average revenue that they do? Like,
Yeah, our e-commerce are really established numbers. When we were doing more focus on e-commerce, average was $38 million a brand.
Age data. There's only a few months left of this. A lot of different ways to monetize data. Data is a very broad term. There's a lot more money in it. You already spent the money. Let's just say it cost you $10 for a Medicare lead. You make $1 million in sales, you really only made $100,000.
and you might not get paid by your advertiser.
What if I can get an extra 50 cents, $1, $2, $3 per lead in perpetuity? What does that do to my marketing campaign? What does that do for the stress of the profits of my company? A percentage or two at those kind of numbers are huge as moving the needle. So for us, what I love about age data, the hard part's already been done. Now it's just the revenue left for your company. What would the extra $10, $20, $30,000 a week do for your business?
Absolutely.
All of our big partners are making hundreds of thousands, if not millions a year with us. They're never going to have this gold rush again.
Wow.
When it goes back to the skill set thing, I would want to share something. So I've had a lot of jobs, like jobs that you don't know about, anybody knows about. I was a chef. I owned a restaurant, like all this.
I didn't know you owned. I know a lot about you. I didn't know you owned restaurants.
So much crazy shit.
Wow.
Right? And I had when you learn how to be a chef, you can go to school. There's a couple good schools, but usually you learn being the understudy of a chef, right? And you have a mentor that teaches you, and you look over the shoulder and you learn, similar to media buying in a lot of ways. And I had a chef, and I was asking him, like, okay, how do you be great, whatever? And he said, like, you work at every restaurant until you learn the menu, and then you switch restaurants, right? And it really put that idea in my head of like, okay, I'm gonna learn biz dev, and then I'm gonna go learn something else, and I'm gonna learn something else. So just in the restaurant comparison, you can learn how to cook French food, Italian food, Chinese food. Now you're a chef that's completely well-rounded. And I felt that was the same with all of kind of my business pursuits, to have a good skill set. And then someone else brings up LeBron James or whoever the case may be. They come into the NBA, they obviously have a great skill set, but they don't say like, hey, I'm great at scoring, but I'm cool. I'm not going to learn how to be a better rebounder. Yeah. I'm not going to learn how to throw more assists. Like, I think that if you really want to increase in your ability as a business person, the more skills that you can get, even if you're not going to use them day to day, it's nice to understand a skill set so you can manage the people who are going to utilize those things. So you know you're not getting bullshitted, you know the quality of their work. So I think like learning to be well-rounded and curious about the other parts of the business is very eye-opening. Yeah. And very beneficial.
And I think I worked with your team a lot, and you would hire based on those skill sets, and I think your retention is pretty phenomenal. You still have people on your team that I know back in 2016.
Josh, I got Josh on my team.
Josh, I haven't talked to him forever.
Josh is still on my team from 2010, 2011.
That's crazy.
I was just looking at the other day. I would say like average for my real team, average is probably 7 years. Yeah.
Just good.
Yeah, and what's cool is like all of them are open to learning other shit also, right? Like they also want to learn and increase skill set. And I really encourage it because I like to see them get more well-rounded. And I think that really pays off with your people. When they see you actually give a shit and you want them to learn, you want them to be challenged, they'll stick with you. And sometimes you uncover areas where you're like, dude, you're great at this. Like I had no idea. My assistant, I had a executive assistant who was a killer since day one, right? But as time went on, I realized she's so much better at so much stuff, and now she controls all of my money stuff. She manages accountants, she manages attorneys, she keeps all of the QuickBooks people in line, and she just started out as my assistant, and now she's a controller, CFO. Like,
is that Jennifer?
Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
She controls it. She controls everything, all my money, all my wires. She can send hundreds of thousands of dollars a day in wires.
And you don't have to worry. She doesn't make mistakes, right?
I don't worry about it at all. Not even a little bit. Yeah. Like she manages accounting teams. Like we have accounting for each company. She works with the tax attorneys, with the accountants. She runs the whole thing. But she started out as my assistant.
That's crazy. I have someone on my team, Amanda on my team, that I can travel the world, and I know if I leave her a voice note, she'll get it done, and she gets it done right. So it's so nice.
Exactly.
She didn't start off that way. She started off on the phones 10 years ago. She didn't even want to work on the phone. So I had to convince her to take the job, and then she just kept growing and growing. She eventually ran this call center. I left. I started my business, but I came back, started a call center. She was running my call center. And then I had bad luck with EAs. No one was doing a good job, making mistakes.
You're
I'm like,
a
you know
tough
what?
person to have an EA for,
Bro,
dude.
I know I'm all over the place, bro. Blah, 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 all over.
You're
right?
high energy,
Yeah, I know.
going, moving. It's fast-paced.
Yeah. So anyway, but she understood me. Like she's her and my wife are the only two people I can say something, but to other people, they think I meant this, but they know what I really meant. So I said, you know what? This might sound crazy, but I think you could be my EA, but you're really my chief of staff, is what it comes down to. That's what she is. So now she's running everything, and she's still evolving as we go along. I have her running a big campaign for me right now because I know she's not going to fuck this campaign up. But that's what she's starting to become like Jennifer is to you for me. And now we have
it's a right hand.
Yeah, it's a right hand. And then we have an EA who reports to her that's doing the scheduling and all this other stuff. But they grow and then you grow. I mean, I couldn't be doing these podcasts without having that support system, man.
Exactly.
You know, so
exactly.
That's huge for people to realize, because I think that a lot of people get stuck in the solopreneur thing, or 1, 2, 3 people, and then maybe there's a fear to grow, and yeah, things will get fucked up, but eventually, if you're going to get to that next level, have that time freedom, you're going to have to get someone like that for you.
And you got to understand too, like everybody says, oh, hire, delegate, whatever. You also need to understand that people aren't going to do it as well as you in the beginning, but some things are going to do better than you.
Yep.
And you have to give them time to get great, right? It's just, you need to give them that opportunity. Pick the right person. And if you know they're the right person, they have the right skill set, they care, they try hard, they're smart, everything else, give them time to grow into what you want them to do. And then eventually, you just don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yep.
It's not going to be instant, and it's extra annoying in the beginning because you lose time because you got to train them, teach them, whatever. But eventually, you can just hand that shit off. Our chief revenue officer, who actually I used to work with in solar, it's an interesting thing. She was the COO of our largest solar buyer.
Wow.
Back in 2015, 16, whatever. And I loved her. And I was like, dude, I'm going to hire her someday. I told my partner, look, one day with the opportunity, I'm going to hire her. With our last business, I hired her. And it was different than she was doing. A lot of the same, but different because all the media buying and stuff like that. And I've worked with her over the last 9 months, basically, to dump my head into her head. And now I don't need to do anything. Like in the beginning, it was a lot. Every day I'm teaching her. I had her on every call, every Zoom, just listening. But now it's just like she just runs the whole show. Like even not just execution, but being able to think correctly and make the right decisions on my behalf. You know, she can just do the entire thing. She can just run it way better than I run businesses.
Yes. That's incredible. And that was what, 2015, and then fast forward 7, 8. You didn't.
Exactly.
I think the key thing with anyone that's good in that know not just biz dev, but a people person. I do the same thing. I'll think about people and I'll store them in my head.
Exactly.
And you keep in touch with them because you know there's somewhere some opportunity. And then boom, when things align, then it happens.
I see somebody with a talent or a skill or some type of character trait I like, and they just sit in my head, and then all of a sudden something comes up. I'm like, bam, that's the person for this. You know, it's been a blessing to be able to remember like that.
And I think that comes down to the obsessive. You got to be obsessive. You're going to be successful at anything. You know, you got to be obsessed with it and how to get that edge. And I think that you always think about, how do I get that edge? What's the next thing? And that's why you store, these people, these ideas in the back of your brain. And they might sit there for a while, but you don't forget about them, right? And then eventually, boom, when the time things align, you're ready to go.
Dude, I was talking to my therapist. I started doing therapy maybe 5-6 months ago. And it's amazing, to learn, to have someone else look at your brain and the way that you do things and give their opinion on it. It opens you up to new self-awareness of blind spots you didn't even see, et cetera. It's such an amazing exercise because I love the brain and how it works, and to have an expert talk to me about my brain and my systems is super interesting. But anyway, when I was explaining to her my relationship with business, because it's outside of my wife, it is my biggest relationship. This fucking thing is a video game that I plug into in the morning, and sometimes I unplug. But on the whole, in my head, it's running all day, thinking about my business, this, that, opportunities, costs. It's just like a obsessed video game that I'm plugged into all day. And then sometimes I unplug, but it's just running in the background, man. And I think entrepreneurs, true entrepreneurs, get that. Yeah. You just don't turn it off, man. It's 24/7. And our brain operating system is just sucking in all this data. It's storing it in different places. And if you're always on, it just keeps popping up for you, dude. It's just, And especially because what we do is digital, right? Like refreshing stats and being cited numbers. It really is a big ass video game, you know, and I love it, man. I've been an entrepreneur. I've worked for myself since I was 16 years old, right? And it's like, now it's 31 years later and I'm still obsessed. I'm still obsessed with this game.
That's amazing that you put it that way, because I feel the same way. And I know
You're definitely the same, brother.
Yeah, I think anyone it's hard for me. I'll go to the beach and like just sitting there, like, but I get annoyed sometimes. But then I get ideas, and sometimes it's good to disconnect, because then the ideas come. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
You know, you get those ideas, you go away, and everything jump in the water. But and you never know which of those ideas. Most of them are bullshit, right? Maybe there's 1,000, but that one, it just takes that damn one, right?
Exactly.
That's all it
and
is.
it's like I do a lot to try to quiet my mind to get those good ideas out, especially when I was in LA. It was like every weekend I would do a bunch of meditation. I would do an hour float tank. I would do an hour in a sauna. I would get an hour and a half massage to like force an empty brain. And especially when I first started meditating, so many ideas would pop out because my brain was having a chance to let them all spit out. And I would want to stop and just write that shit down. But I realized the good ideas, they just keep coming.
Yeah.
They pop up again and again and again. So at first I just wanted to catch them. And I was like, fuck, I don't want to forget this one. But then over time I realized, dude, the real good ones are the ones that just repeat and they repeat, and I'm polishing them in my brain. It's like, I think about it like Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z never wrote down a rhyme, right? He just doesn't do that. But he doesn't think about the rhyme the first time when he gets in the booth. He's working it out in his head the entire time, polishing. And then one day he gets in the booth and he drops fire.
Yep.
And I feel like that's how I try to think about my business ideas, is I'm polishing them. I'll talk to you about it. I'll test it out. I'll see what you think. And it's more polishing, more data. And then eventually it drops out. And it's maybe something I've been working on subconsciously for a few years, but it finally hits. You know, I got a bunch of ideas that I've been rolling around for years. I got names for businesses that are in my head that I've had for like 5-6 years. I'm just waiting to drop these things out, you know?
Yeah. That's incredible. And I love the fact, I don't know how many podcasts, I've done probably 17, 18 so far, not that many, right? But in these short interviews, no one has talked, especially as a man, talked about therapy and talked about meditation and flow tanks. But I'm a believer in all that stuff. And the fact that you want to get vulnerable, but that gives you the edge, man.
Of course.
At the end of the day.
Dude, we are our business, right?
Yeah.
Like, as I was just saying, right? You're an entrepreneur. Your business is you. Your business is in your head. Your head is governed by your soul and your brain. So optimizing yourself is going to optimize every part of your business that you touch.
Yep.
It's the one thing that's shared in every one of your businesses or every decision that's made. There's nothing more important than how our brain works. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that happen in our life, in our childhood, good things, bad things, etc., that create the operating system that helps us make decisions. So sometimes if you can fix that operating system and improve it by calming it down or speeding it up, or figuring out decisions that you're making incorrectly based on the past. Like I have stuff from, and I'm not even saying like bad things necessarily, but my childhood, right? Like things that shaped me as a human back when it was very influential. Like the younger you are, I think those experiences are even more influential. And I built up systems that I've used to make decisions for all these years. But now that I'm older and I look at it and I say, fuck, why do I always make this decision? It's not even a good decision, but I always do it. It's because of some system I created. So it's like now unwinding some of those things and learning to think better helps me make better decisions. Yeah. If I make better decisions, I make more money. It's just like it's like a Olympic athlete not lifting weights. Like how can you not work on your brain? And I got a coach a few years ago, an executive coach, and he was a sports psychologist and he worked with pitchers. He worked on professional baseball teams, but he worked with pitchers to help them stay in their flow. And then he worked with Olympic athletes to help them be where they need to be and stay in their flow. And like, dude, I'm a businessman. I'm a fucking financial athlete. I need someone to optimize the hell out of myself. And that was really a turning point, I think, in a lot of performance. I started making more money when I started really focusing on the brain and the mind.
And I'm so excited that you talked about that, because I had I'm on the health aspect. I have a biohacking doctor in Miami that, man, I feel like he's giving me a big edge by being with my health, right? And then, but it's all connected to the mental, because you feel really good in your health, you're going to have that confidence, right? to close a deal or whatever. And then,
Yes.
you know, I know you've always been a big reader. I think you recommended Think Fast but Slow. What was the book?
Yeah,
again?
thinking fast, thinking slow.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same concept,
It
right?
is.
And the fact that you're talking about the mental aspect of it, because I haven't touched upon it. I'm surprised I haven't until you said it, but it's something I believe in. You know, I go to therapy. I haven't been in a flotation tank in a while, but when I did that, it was the best. Just floating there, these fucking ideas would come up, and then I would just silence. I'd fall asleep sometimes because my body needed it. But there's times I hear my heartbeat, and like you realize how fucking precious life is. Like, dude, this shit stops beating. I'm dead. Like, you have these crazy thoughts, but sometimes you need to have those thoughts. Like you have that alone time for yourself, and especially. We're kind of wired very similarly, but I'm always go, 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 go. But I find that when I was in those flotation tanks or in therapy or meditating, I would get the best ideas.
Of course.
I come out like, holy shit, everything else is fucking noise. Because there's so much shiny object syndrome in our industry, right?
Yes.
All fucking day long. You go to Affiliate Summit, like you come out there, want to do 20 things, but probably you should only be focused on one or two things, right? But that's the importance, and I don't think that gets talked about enough in our industry. People don't talk about working on their mental aspect. They talk about health. I feel like there's a good amount of that, but there's not more about the mental aspect, and that's so important. And that's really, again, I think we keep talking about how do you get an edge, and that's why you've had edges your whole life, because you're doing shit other people aren't doing. I guarantee you, and not to talk shit about anyone, but like in our audience, probably 5% to 10% of people, maybe less, are doing this. But the 5 to 10% are, I guarantee you, they're making more money or they have better quality of life, and that's where we should all want to aspire to get to at the end of the day.
100%. And again, it's the thing that is going to affect my business and my life 24/7 is how my brain works. If you take a look at optimizing a campaign, right? If you optimize the website, okay, that's only going to be for the people that visit the website. But if you optimize the traffic, it's the impressions. That's 100% of the people see your fucking ads. So if you fix that, it's going to have a bigger effect than the thing that less people see. And the one thing, because I own a bunch of companies, if I want to fix every company at one time, I can fix myself.
100%.
You know, and even with like decisions, man, like I don't make big decisions. I don't even do a lot of calls anymore after 4 o'clock because my brain's fucked. If I'm fresh in the morning, especially after an NAD treatment, Monday morning, my brain is so good.
I love Mondays too, man. I get excited
so good.
Sunday thinking about my week, man. Monday's the best fucking day. Yeah.
But the coach told me something smart, and he said, listen, people like yourself that are high achievers, you need to learn discipline. Most people need to learn discipline. I need to go to the gym. I need to do that. I need to push myself. You need to learn discipline to control yourself, to not go too hard. He says LeBron doesn't play basketball 24 hours a day and then show up for a big game. You got to learn to turn it off so you conserve that energy and power when you need to show up. And that's when it really became a process for me, like actually like a job to not work on the weekends. And then it was like, all right, I'm not going to work. How can I relax my mind as much as possible? So Monday morning is like I just came back from vacation and I'm ready to pop, you know?
Dude, amazing shit. I mean, this is fucking next level shit that people need to hear. So I appreciate you talking about this because, again, I'm shocked hearing you say that. I'm like, well, how the fuck haven't I talked? No one's talked about this. I guess maybe you have to be vulnerable. I'm sure other people got on therapy, but that's what I like about you. You're not afraid to bring out the good, the bad, or ugly. Like, even with the Geek Out, like, yeah, that place sucked. I wasn't going to say that, but like, you're willing to say that. But that's part of the evolution. Like, that's what got you to where you're at with everything now. You know, so that's beautiful.
I really try to be the same person in my head as I am outside of my head. Because it's like fucking real, man. Like you gotta be authentic because it's easier. It's very tiring to try to maintain the act 24 hours a day.
Yep.
You gotta be real so you have energy for your business and everything else. And people appreciate that. And dude, like, let's be honest, like we fuck up and fail all the time. Yeah. I do, everyone does. That's just what we do. We do embarrassing shit. We make mistakes. We say the wrong things. That's equal to the success. If you don't have bad, you don't have good.
Yep.
There would just be everything is the same, but it's not real, dude. Geek Out sucked in the beginning. I lost money on it for years and years. Well, now it's cool. I can say it's cool and not feel like an asshole because I can also say it sucked, but I wouldn't know if it's good if I didn't know what it was like when it sucked. You know, and that's just, it's just an important thing, and it feels nice to talk about your failures. It feels good to just get that off your chest. Yeah, I fucked that up, you know? Like, it just feels nice. So then also, though, at the same time, when you win, you got to celebrate it the same.
100%.
You know, because sometimes you're too hard on yourself. You're saying you suck all the time. You got to it's harder for me to talk about when I do good than it is talk about when I do bad. It's like a little
Funny, right?
embarrassing,
You
right?
would think the opposite. Yeah,
No,
I'm the
because
same
you
way,
don't want to
man.
be like, oh, I don't want to come across as arrogant or, but you got to give yourself credit too when you nail it. If you're going to talk shit, you got to say nice things too, So it's definitely like a balance.
So I guess now's a good time to make you feel uncomfortable by talking about, out of all these campaigns, I know there's stuff we still haven't talked about, but like which one do you feel the proudest about? And you ran a lot of campaigns, man.
Listen, man, Geek Out I'm proud of, dude. Because it's not some just digital business. It's something that like a lot of people have felt value. It's a brand. People know it. It's my baby. Then my wife and I started a skincare brand, and that's my new baby. I'm proud of it. It's called resurgence.com. Go and buy our moisturizer, our serum. It's amazing. We spent so much time, 3 years, developing the product, designing the packaging. Like I run campaigns that I can do like tens of thousands of people a day buy something from me. When I started selling this skincare, I look everyone up, dude. I look them up. I look up their Instagram. I Zillow the fucking value of their houses because it's like they're buying my thing that I created. So that's something that I'm very, very proud of, man. The Geek Out I'm proud of, and I'm really proud of Rest Religion, our skincare brand.
Yeah, and as I hear you talk, it's those habits, right? The obsessiveness to grow the brand and do the right thing. But by looking up there, you're not being like, what do you call? I don't know what the right word is. You're not being like a psychotic by doing that, but it's because you want to understand what's the makeup of your demo, right? And how you're going to target them better. Who's buying it and what's going on. So there's a logic behind all that, right?
It teaches me so much. Yeah. Like I noticed, like, nurses keep buying my product.
Yep.
Well, why are nurses buying the product? Like it was very like insightful to see something like that, And it's just like a lot of times as marketers, it's just faceless, right? We don't see them. We don't know what their interaction is, why they buy. But when you actually see the person buying it's the same as Geek Out, man. I go to the Geek Out, I talk to people, and it's like, those people interact with my jam. Like I made something that people like, it's very valuable, man.
Yeah, it's incredible. I come out of there always feeling like refreshed, and you see people you haven't seen in years sometimes, and it's just great. It's a great community. So congratulations on that, man. I'm like, every time I come out of it.
You were literally there day one, brother.
I was there day one.
You helped build it, dude, and it wasn't a good day one, but you were there, brother.
Yeah, but that's why I feel like it's awesome, man. It's awesome when you see a client like the one we had that, they're still in business in solar, and after all these people going out of business, they're still one of the last ones standing, and we contribute to that. The impact we make. Think about when we're selling leads or selling products, and we're impacting people's lives and we're creating jobs.
Yeah.
This company went from when we started working with them, they probably had 20, 30 employees. It went to 2,000 at one point. I think they're still around there.
And listen, and it was a lot because of us.
Yes.
It was and I'll give ours a pat on the back.
Yeah.
Bro, we fueled that company in the beginning, dude.
And really, that helped fuel the whole freaking solar industry, man. And then this company came out, and then people would leave, start their own thing. But that's what we're doing as marketers. Not just we were selling a product and making money. We're making an impact on people's lives, creating jobs, selling good products. It's really something I think that we talked about therapy before and that kind of shit. I don't think we talk about that enough. How is it impacting the greater good, the greater community?
Listen, this is very important, and I want to say this as well. I've been around this industry for a while now, and everybody's done different stuff, ran aggressively, done different things. And like for me as a marketer, when I see a cost per acquisition and I'm just looking at numbers and I run something more aggressively and I get a cheaper CPA, if I don't take the time to really look at who this is affecting, it just makes a lot of sense. The internet gives us power to have a big effect on people. Like I can't speak to as many people without this microphone and without everything. You and I can't get this message out to as many people, right? When we market, we do need to be careful and smart because it does affect people.
Yep.
It affects a lot of people. And like, look, everybody does what they want to do. All of us have done what we want to do, and I've done a lot of crazy things with my marketing, et cetera. But at this point, it's nice when I can help a lot of people. I feel a lot of benefit at this. And also personally at this point, I wouldn't want to advertise something that could potentially hurt people. Like shit has changed, you know? Yeah. And I think it's important. Everybody do what they want to do, but eventually think about it. And if you're cool with it, you're cool with it. But I think it's important to try to do the right thing, by 100%. People when you advertise.
And I think when you're looking back at your history and the things that you've done, even loan mods back in the day, that was helping people stay in their homes. So how many people did you impact there? We talk about solar, people saving money on energy, right? Student loans, all that stuff. And then the next thing that we haven't gotten to yet is the PPP product you had, which is wildly successful, right? And then you went to ERC. I mean, these are products that help people stay in
And
business.
now telehealth, man.
Yeah, telehealth and other things. So I don't know where you want to go with that, but the point I was going to say with what I hit like three things: PE, ERC, telehealth. But I tell you one thing: when the shit went down with COVID, man, I thought I was going to be out of business. That was that 3-week period of time in March of I think was it 2020. No one bought leads for me for like it was a week. I just had a newborn baby.
I remember talking to you.
Yo, I was fucking nervous, man. I got a PPP loan. It wasn't a huge amount, but that gave me a fucking life raft to keep going. And then literally, I didn't even have to, I applied for the fucking thing and I got approved pretty fast. And literally like the next day, one of my big clients was like, listen, we have 50 vendors. We're only keeping 5. You're one of them. That was like what I needed. That was a breath of fresh air. But that's another impact you made with all the people. I mean, you guys did, I don't want to talk about that. You did a ridiculous amount of volume with that, but it's also on the back end. How did that help the economy, man, at the end of the day? Small businesses are the backbone of the fucking economy.
Yes, dude.
And that product was very, and I know some guys did shady shit. They got caught, it sounds like, for, taking out fucked up loans or whatever. But that's the one theme that you really have promoted products that have helped the overall good.
Yes, it's been really a benefit. Like I remember like in the loan mod days, right? People just send us Christmas cards, send us thank you notes.
Nice.
Like we help people. Like I've always been proud of that. And almost all of these businesses, like let's be realistic, they all get messed up by shady people. It's just what happens. It's the reality of things. But I've always felt like I could be proud about the way I serviced people. And dude, it was great knowing that we kept people in houses.
Yep.
Like literally around Christmas time, people's house was going to get foreclosed on and we kept them in there. Or PPP, this was for, we did PPP, what we did was for self-employed individuals, right? Smaller kind of people. They like really needed it. They were really getting screwed. ERC, dude, people got screwed. Like it's just, there were a lot of opportunities where our government really does look out for people that other countries don't. I don't think people understand that. Most countries cannot just be like, yo, we're going to give stimmy checks. We're going to help businesses. And having the opportunity to help people access that is nice, dude. It's powerful, man. It really is powerful. It's one of the big reasons I'm so into the telehealth thing now is like literally helping people get effective results. Like I've advertised for so long, different supplements, health products, whatever. And now it's like, I'm actually helping people get better results and increase their health. And it's been super motivating, super motivating. I think it's one of the most gratifying things I've been involved with.
For sure, 100%. And that's one of the reasons why I want to have you on the show, not only because of our history, and I know that we only put people on the show that we know are real, that got proven results and so forth, but because you think different. I think it's obvious to everyone listening that, the stuff you're talking about from the mental health and this being a video game, like no one talks like that. So it's great to hear you say that. So, and that also goes part to one of the biggest, in parts of what I want to touch upon next is, you got into debt 2008, right? You did loan mods 2012, solar back in 2014. What else? You did student loans back in the day.
Student loan consolidation, PPP, COVID tests.
COVID tests too. Wow, fuck, I forgot you did that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have another business now I'm not going to talk about that no one else is doing.
Yeah.
That is just, again, it really is a big concept for me. And I've actually been thinking about teaching this, to be honest. And if anybody watching it is interested, just so I can get feedback, I'm thinking about doing a 1 or 2 day in my house, just teaching people how to identify opportunities that currently don't exist or they're early stages, how to find them, how to check them out, how to decide when to cut because it's not going to work, how to build the opportunity. Because the opportunities that I love are the ones that are so unbuilt, I have to help them build them, right? Like this product I did recently, call centers, but they'd never had digital leads ever. And I literally had to work for like 5 or 6 months teaching them how to deal with inbound leads and calls and everything else. And it's paid out big time. So I'm thinking about actually kind of bringing that out because I think that's the biggest skill that I've had. And I see affiliates chase offers, right? And it's gotten better where it's like they're not just getting screwed over by networks. A lot of people are going direct. But dude, the opportunity to harness your marketing power and build your own thing that either doesn't exist or it's just starting to exist is big. And a big one, I keep mentioning it, right? But is telehealth. I feel like there's an opportunity right now with telehealth that someone who understands marketing, who understands e-commerce, could pretty easily, because of the way the business is built, blow up a business, like build something sick, build a brand. It's not even that like human intensive. And I think it would be beneficial to people that want to go to the next step to take even like a bigger step. I mean, obviously you start out as an affiliate, you send to a network, then you go direct, then maybe you create your own offer, you create the form to collect the data. Telehealth gives the opportunity where you don't need the call center piece. It's like lead gen, but you're plugging into different places. And I think the ability to find things early has been one of my best skills, one of my biggest money-making skills. But it has come with a lot of duds also. You know, like I'll find one, and I usually invest 10 to 30 G's on finding a failure, right? And that's traffic, setup, sometimes 50. But I'll find an opportunity I'll research the shit out of it. I've built kind of like a calculator to figure out if it fits the mold. Like, what am I looking for? Does it do this? Like, is it broad? Can I run it on display or Facebook? Or is it strictly search? And how do you find the right partner, operator? And I'll find these opportunities with this calculator. Then I'll try them. And then I spend a little bit. I'm like, should I keep going? And then I have to evaluate the opportunity or the partner, the operator for the opportunity. And I think it's like there's a lot of 30 to 50K fails incubating these. But then when you find the right one, it opens up crazy money, and then you just dive into that. And I would like to help people with that essentially because I enjoy it so much. It's like a new video game, you know?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in collapsing time frames. Time is money, right?
Yeah.
We can't get back to the second we just lost right now. So the point is that when you can invest in whether it's a coach or time in something like what you do with the Geek Out or this product that you're talking about, I mean, that'll help you collapse those time frames and spend less time on bullshit duds. There's so many duds. I've had duds where I kept going and going and going. And, you know, first I said, I'm going to do 10 grand. I'm right there. And then before you know it, you're like way deeper. You're like 50 grand and shit. And then like, you're like, oh, no, I got to figure it out. It's almost like in stock trading.
Yes,
you keep adding to a fucking loser until like I'm tapped out, you know?
Exactly.
And it fucks up your psyche too.
It does.
You get pissed
There's
off on yourself.
There's a confidence thing. You start to say,
Yeah.
did I fuck up? There's a very good saying that just because you've been making a bad decision for a long time doesn't mean you should keep doing it.
Yep.
And there's nothing worse than you dig in. Daniel and I did this recently, the end of last year. Especially him, it was more of his project, but we were both vested, right? We tried so hard to make this offer work, and it was fucking sick. It was such a winner, and we put our heart into it, put time into it, put money into it, and one day we realized it wasn't gonna work. Like it wasn't gonna work. We knew it, and it was like
It's like a relationship.
there was such a part of me that wanted to just keep going, and I'll figure it out. But then there's like the wiser part of entrepreneurship, and I think it's one of the biggest skill sets as an entrepreneur is knowing when to just turn shit off. Yep. Lick your wounds. You lost. You're not gonna get that fucking money back. Turn it off and live to fight another day. And then don't let your personal self-worth and self-esteem and confidence be affected by that. Like just because this business didn't work, this offer didn't work, it doesn't mean you're dumb or you're bad at what you do. It was just a dud offer. It was a dud idea, but you had to try it, man. You know, it's just, that's a big learning lesson is just having the discipline to kill, having the optimism to try what other people are scared to try, but have like the strength and wisdom and discipline to pause it when you know it's not going to come out the other side.
Cutting your losses, man. It's like trading, it's like gambling, it's the same shit. At the end of the day, when you're testing campaigns, you're gambling. Not that you're gambling, it's an educated gamble, right? It's
an
risk,
educated
reward,
gamble. Exactly.
probabilities, all
Exactly.
that. So what percentage of these new ideas or these hunches you think work out? If you do for every 10, how many, or I don't know if 10's enough,
It's
20,
gotten
100?
It's gotten a lot better.
Okay.
It's actually gotten a lot better because my system for finding them is much more refined and I have more discipline to, like, I can identify the opportunities better and then I'll get into stage one and I'm really good at clipping it at stage one now where I tried in the beginning and it's just not there. And also I think I've gotten to the point where I don't invest 100% into it. I go a little slower and I go 20%. So I cut my losses faster. I would say right now, probably 70% of the things I try fail.
I thought you were going to say you succeeded, but still.
Come on,
If it's 30%, that's still, if you go to 30%, you're in the Hall of Fame in baseball.
dude.
Why not 3?
I think that probably 70% fail. And I also, another kind of skill set I've learned the last few few years is identifying what's going to be a single or a double and what could be a home run. So I'll find singles and doubles. But my partner always talks about opportunity cost, right? So if I spend 2 hours a day, let's say, working on a single, what if I was spending 2 hours a day working on a home run?
Yep.
So sometimes I'll find singles and doubles and I'll give them to somebody else and do like some rev share or give someone else another idea. And sometimes I'll just kill it and wait for the triple or the home run, you know? But it's I think before I failed, 95% of my ideas failed. Also because I didn't know how to execute. You know, now I got a better team. I know how to run like financial analysis. That's another thing. My partner and I run sick fucking financial analysis before we start. Like we probably spend 2 to 3 G's on spreadsheets to simulate the business before we even start work. It's for me, it's not a business idea till I've done some type of forecasting and financial modeling. It's not even like a real thing. Once I do that, then I'm like, all right, this could be something, but at least gives me like a very clear path, probability that it'll fail, scrubs, refunds, all the negative shit, cash timing, how much cash flow do you need, how much are we burning at? So we build a good 2 to 3K investment on financial models, and then we look at it and say like, all right, do we want to do this? How much time is it going to be? How hard is it to do it? How big's the opportunity? How long will it take till there's regulations and it's all fucked up? We look at like all of this shit. Yeah. And then if it checks all those boxes, then we start to work on it. You know, that's why the hit rate is higher, is because so many get killed before they become something we work on. Because the financials, like a lot of things look good, but then when you run it out, you're like, it's not that good. So the hit rate is higher because we're just killing a lot before we start to work on them.
Dude, it reminds me of like a general preparing for war. You think of all the possibilities, right? And you prepare for each one. And
exactly.
There'll always be a possibility, something you didn't even think about that comes up, right? So that's essentially what you guys are doing.
We do the financial modeling. We take a look at the opportunity. Then we secret shop competitors, see the weaknesses that they have. Then we get some insights from other people in the industry to help us see the things that we didn't see because we don't know that industry. And then we kind of bounce the ideas off of smart people and see what they think about the idea. And then they kind of shit on it or think it's a good idea. And then we decide like, okay, what is the least amount of effort, time, money we can put into it to just see what's happening, right? Like we started a software project and it's like, okay, I said, all right, like, let me start to talk to some potential clients. And let me get a little bit more data before we go deeper down, deeper down the hole. So we're just kind of limiting the downside, kind of hedging bets before we just go like all in. Because once we go all in, especially my partner, we fucking go.
No, I know you do.
We scale.
I've seen it. I saw with solar. You did a case study about the PPP. I saw with ERC.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah.
We fucking go.
I love it. And I think that also there's two. I think most people, and I've been guilty of this. We have something similar in my companies now. We do R&D. We do a pro forma. It sounds like something similar to what you guys do.
Yeah.
But I'm known for just throwing shit against the wall.
Yeah.
I was like, and something's going to stick. But that comes at a cost. Yeah, you will find something that sticks. But what is your time worth, man? And this aggravation and whatever. So that right there, a huge nugget. You talked so many nuggets here, so many gems. That was a big gem because I think that's what we're trained to do. That salespeople and business people, affiliates, media buyers. We're optimists by nature. We believe in ourselves. We think shit's gonna work out, but most of the time it doesn't, man. So,
dude, there's a saying that is you and me to a T, and I mention it all the time. Chaos creates revenue. Order creates profit.
Yeah, I love that.
We're chaos people, brother.
I love
we
chaos,
make revenue, dude.
Yo, I'm in New York. It's moving like fuck. I get alive, bro.
And dude, the people that create profit for us, the people that organize the money, they need people like us.
Of course.
And we need people like them.
Yeah.
But dude, we're revenue guys. We're sales guys. We're going to pump sales. I'm going to drive revenue. It's what I do. I drive revenue. It may not be profitable, but I'll sell the shit out of something. Maybe I'm just losing money, but you got to have some counterbalance and a partner or someone else, a CFO, that's like, yeah, that's cool. We're making a lot of sales, but guess what? The more you sell, the more we lose.
Yeah, so that took me a while to understand that concept. Where there'd be times where I wasn't looking at the shit. Like I see this top line, wow, this is great, but then it's like this tiny profit. Like,
yeah, exactly.
What am I wasting my time on this shit for, man?
Dude.
You know,
exactly.
It's like, my time's more valuable than this shit.
Exactly, dude.
So when did you make that transition? Because I don't know. For me, it took me a while to make that transition. But when did it click in your head that I gotta stop throwing shit against the wall? What was it? A partnership with Daniel?
Partnership with Daniel.
Okay.
He just has a much more intelligent, rational, disciplined, sophisticated way at looking at money. He just looks at it differently. He looks at cost. He definitely is still opportunistic. He still wants to go for it, but in a very more cautious fashion. I'll go a little deeper, but he just looks at money from a completely different point of view. He looks a lot about how to keep it. I look a lot at how to make it.
Yeah.
And the balance is nice. We always say, like, we don't just find the middle, we find the best middle.
Yeah.
We sit on this couch and we just bang each other down with ideas. I pitch him, he pitches me. We have differing opinions until we find like the best middle, the balance of the two of us. But whichever one of us entered into the kind of discussion conflict with the better idea, it'll kind of end up a little bit closer to that side, but it'll be tempered a little bit with the other person.
And that's such an important aspect of business, right? My business, I 100% owned it, right? I merged in, early 2022. And at first it was kind of tough. Like, what the fuck, it's like a new relationship, but then you figure it out. It comes together, and then you complement each other. And that's definitely, you guys are perfect in that aspect, I think.
Dude,
100%.
and also, like, you speak about therapy and stuff like this. Our communication as partners is, I have to say, it's like on another level, honestly. Like, we don't just say, my idea good, your idea bad, and we like get flustered. We talk about it, and we talk about our feelings, right? And we talk about, like, I think that I'm reacting to your idea. Like let's say I react very like defensively. I'll say, dude, I think I'm reacting defensively to your idea because I think that you feel this way. And he'll be like, look, I'm careful there because I don't want to disappoint you, right? So we actually talk about the emotional elements behind our relationship and our communication of ideas. So we make sure that our ideas are not being controlled by our emotions.
Yeah.
It's rational. But dude, as humans, I do shit defensively. Oh, why are you challenging my idea? Then I dig in. And then he doesn't want to let me down. So he doesn't want to make too big of a goal because he wants to make sure to deliver. And then he locks in. But if you really take time to explore the emotional element behind your decision making, you can strip all that shit away and just use data and rational decision making. And I think that's like a big, big thing that you need in a partnership. You got to talk openly. Like, all these younger generations, it's all fucking passive aggressive.
Yeah.
You don't have hard conversations. You don't express yourself. You get frustrated. And it doesn't make for a nice working relationship, and you don't ever get to the core of it. John from Thrasio, he had an amazing thing that he talked about where it's like with his younger generation of employees, he forces conflict so that the truth can come out, where you really voice your opinion, because very, very often that shit that someone doesn't want to say because they're so emotional about it, but they're mad, it's a great idea, but they're holding it inside because they don't express themselves properly. And I think attaching that human and emotional element to like your relationship so you can remove that emotional element to make better decisions is really undervalued in a partnership.
Bro, that was deep, man. Super, super deep. And
that was kind of, honestly, I also thought it was deep for a second.
Yeah.
It was a little bit crazy.
But people need to hear this shit because it's true. It happens. We hold shit in and then we ghost people, and it's like, that's the craziest thing with this generation. So much ghosting going on.
Yeah, totally.
No one wants to talk about that. You got to get this shit
When you
up.
have a hard conversation, it feels good. You feel like it's a win. When you tell someone, hey, you're letting me down. This isn't working right. This needs to be the price. You're making too much. I'm not making enough. And you communicate like that. Dude, you and me.
Yeah.
And you worked with Daniel. He's direct in a nice way. Yeah. But we always had an honest conversation. Hey, we're not making enough. We're making too much. Let's do it the right way. Also, learning to make deals that everybody's going to win for the long term. Right? And if someone's not winning, you talk about it and say, hey, shit's changed. Like, we need to fix this. Yep. Having those hard conversations will make your business last longer. It'll make your partnerships deeper. Just running away and avoiding the shit, it burns down your biz, dude.
Yeah, it burns down your biz. And we know every campaign has a shelf life. It's not going to last forever, right?
Yeah.
But if you have that good communication internally, you'll help it last longer. It'll have a longer shelf life.
Dude.
And it sucks. It's like going from one relationship to the next relationship. It's exhausting at the end of the day. So you want to have longevity. You want to maximize so much. And the beautiful thing, when you do that for your client, I have a situation right now where an old client of mine in solar, now he's in some home improvement thing, and bro, we're killing it right now because I treated the guy right. I did whatever. We had the open communication, and when he was out of it, like he was out of work for a little bit, like Dave, and I'm like, bro, this isn't going to work, and this is why I say it's not going to work. I would shoot him straight, and he would debate me. Why are you saying this? I said, this is why I'm saying it, but we would have, and I didn't take offense to it. Like I think his delivery was pretty good too, but like the way we communicate was good, and I think that's why when he went to the new spot, he only could add like one more vendor. It's like, you're the guy. And
Yeah.
bro, I'm like, fuck those conversations. And I wasn't doing that thinking something would happen in the future, but we had some tough conversations, and I helped them in the beginning. And that's what you need. It really, that's why the old school, listen, we have AI, all this other shit, but that old school communication is never going to go away because we're emotional humans, emotional beings at
Dude,
the
and
end of the day.
also it's like not being greedy.
Yeah.
Look, I work a lot with Applebaum and Matt Smith, right? They're like my
Fucking
go-to.
both legends, yeah.
I love them, right? And they're my go-to all the time. And when I'm trying to crack something, I'm trying to crack an offer, I don't know what the right payout should be. It's brand new. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows, yeah.
Nobody knows what
That
the cost
sucks.
per
Doesn't that
lead
always
is.
suck, man? Yeah.
Nobody knows what the CPA should be. And like, dude, when I fuck with them, I'll be like, dude, I got a new op. Can you run some traffic for it? They're never even like, yo, what's the payout or what's the, I'm like, dude, do me a favor, spend 5-10 G's. I'll
figure
either
it
give
out.
you all the revenue, we'll figure it out. I don't know what it's worth yet. And maybe it's not worth anything, but yo, throw that spend out there. And then transparently, I'll be like, all right, dude, here's the margin. Here's how much we can split. And we talk about it. There's never even a discussion. It's always because they are big people thinkers that see the opportunity. They know how the game works. They know that I'm fair. They know they're fair. They know that we'll have hard conversations, easy conversations. But do you know how many opportunities have come for the both of us because of that?
Sure.
Where it's like, hey, we'll figure it out. Because sometimes you kill opportunities. If you try to take too much margin, you don't give enough to the other guy, the whole thing just won't work.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just a pleasure to work with people. You can be like, dude, let's just give it a go. We'll figure out how to split the money when we see if there's any money to split.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't even know if there's anything there.
Yeah, none of this hiding shit. And, oh, that one, I'm not going to tell them because that's fucking dumb. And you're right. When you said that, I thought about a couple situations like that where new vertical, I have no clue.
No
Guys,
clue.
let's spend money. If we take a loss, we split the loss. We make money. Boom. Now we know we're onto something. And then the best people are like, yeah, fuck it. Let's go. There's no, when you get into this pissing contest, oh, but what's in it? Like, that's when shit goes, that shows you a sign you shouldn't even fucking do this.
Dude,
You're
it's
not
just
aligned.
it's just like when you're interviewing employees, right? And you don't even know if you want to hire them. And they're like, well, how do I pay? What are my benefits? What are this? I'm not going to hire you.
Telltale sign is not going to work.
I'm not going to hire you. And it's the same with partners. When it's all of a sudden, oh, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. You know what? You're not the right guy. It's cool. You can run the campaign later when it's stale and we've already squeezed the juice out of it. I'll give you an exact fucking payout.
Yeah.
But if you want to get in early, let's be flexible. Let's work together. Let's see how it goes. You know, it's just a better way to do biz.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And I can't emphasize how much I've learned. I learned working with you beginning now to this day, and it's great that we have this. It's gone beyond just business. It's a friendship.
Big
Our wives have
friendship,
hung
man.
out, man. We've been
Big
all over the
friendship.
world, man, and that's the beauty of this business. That when you go from making, well, you said something really cool earlier. We talked about friendship, but it's about when you're making money. We made money.
There's
We
nothing
had
better
fun
than
at the same time. Yeah,
There's nothing better than making money for
Yeah.
somebody. Like, honestly, dude, if I make money with you one time, right, it's great. We make money together 2 times. We're special, dude. We got something going. Like, it just feels nice to make money with your boys, to split up the bag.
it's the best feeling.
After the bank robbery, one for you, one for me. You know, it's just like, it's a great feeling, dude.
Yeah, it is. And it's also being aligned with people with the same values that are hustlers and that always looking for the next thing. And, I read somewhere about what I find amazing is I know a lot, you know a lot of successful people, so do I. Like, why are they still working? It's not it's the thrill is what they're going after, right? And I think that in our business, there's so many thrills with digital marketing, but how do you keep that discipline so you're not always chasing bullshit? But I think when it comes to them, they're disciplined. They're successful because of that discipline. And like Daniel, he's able to strike when it's hard, and you guys hit it hard. But I think that's it's just awesome to be in this. I love our industry, man. I think for people like us, it's the best industry there is.
Incredible.
Yeah, because
Nothing moves faster.
Nothing moves faster, and then when it hits, it hits. There's a lot of ups and downs, but bro, when you're with the right people, and I know that, we had those couple good runs, and there's gonna be another run. It might be tomorrow, it might be fucking 5 years from now, 10 years from now. We'll have that other run, and when you see guys like Warren Buffett, fucking 90 something, still chasing shit, that's exciting to me, man. And I feel like we're gonna be the same way, man.
Of course, dude. I'm addicted to the game.
Yeah.
But I have an idea, and I share it sometimes. I'll share it with you. But like, I don't know if I want to work till I die, essentially, right? But I like solving problems. Like, that's what I really get off on. And if I had $1 billion, I don't know if I would necessarily work to get to 2 billion. But what I really want to do is once I'm done, I don't need to make any more money, but my brain's still good, I'm still active. I want to find my other friends that also like to figure shit out and fix a problem in society. Like, 'cause we don't need the money, right?
Yeah.
Take our skills, our leadership skills, our marketing skills, our finance skills, and just pick something that nobody can fix. Fucking homelessness, hunger, something. And get these people together and be like, yo, let's just crack this shit like we crack campaigns, like we crack businesses. Like, let's just do something for the love of it. Because, dude, I think a lot of my friends that have already cashed out, they missed the game. They don't need any more money, but they're bored because they're not cracking something. They're not figuring it out. Like, there's so many people in our industry, myself, everyone else, we love the beginning of the business when you figure shit out, you crack it, you undo it, you hustle. And then once it's running smooth, you're kind of like, it's boring.
Yeah, it's crazy,
problem
right?
solving. Yeah, exactly. It's not engaging anymore. It's like the cat with the string. If the string is bouncing around and they can't catch it, they love it. But you can put it on the ground. If it's not bouncing around, they don't want that shit anymore. It's what we can't get. And that's what I really like about business, is trying to figure that shit out, you know?
Yeah, I love it. Man, this is fucking, my mind's already blown over here. Fucking
dude,
blown.
I'm very complimented.
Yeah,
Thank you, man.
it is. And the audience, man, listen to every fucking minute of this. This is one of those where you shouldn't skip shit. Listen to every single minute of it. And I'm really interested in what you're talking about what you want to work on in terms of helping the community spot trends. People are interested. So how can they, I know you want some feedback. How can we get that feedback out there? Is there a link we can share? Or
Yeah,
what's the best way to do
hit
it?
up Dave in the comments, dude. If a bunch of people are interested, again, I don't know if I'm going to do it or not, but I think if people think it's valuable, I want to just do something in my house, casual, 10, 20 people.
Here in New York, you would do it.
Here in New York. I don't think it'll be super cheap, maybe 5, 10K for the day. It's got to be like worth some time. And then just go through and teach people how to find them, identify them, incubate them, nurture them, decide like what the decision-making process is and what is the process to be able to go and build something. And I definitely will focus a lot on telehealth because I think that is the opportunity right now. But yeah, if people are interested in something like that, just hit up Dave. I'm not really on social media, but yeah, just hit up Dave in the comments. Dave will tell me.
Yeah,
You know?
and I'll put, if you want, I'll put your Skype on there. I know you're pretty active on Skype. We'll put your
Skype's
Skype
cool.
there too.
Yeah.
We'll reach
Yeah,
out to you.
Yeah, totally.
And dude, I'm excited about it. And dude, one thing I want to say too is that the players they don't flinch at 5 to 10K. They won't flinch at 25K for something. But if you're someone new that's trying to break into the game, proximity is power. James does all of his events, even that first event that we say was a flop. I mean, the 10 people that were there were fucking heavy hitters. There were people putting up, high 8 figures on e-com with women's products. I mean, I remember that one guy. I forgot his name, but
dude.
do you remember that guy? It's funny, right?
Yeah.
There were people. They were doing shit I never even heard about. I didn't know you can make money, and that's the shit that gets you out of your box. We all live in a box. You get you out of your box. So just that alone, man, I'd be there for sure. So if I'm in the country, I'll fucking be there. I'll make arrangements to be there.
Yeah, I think I'll do it dope. Like, I think I'll do education during the day. And then I have a pretty sick network of homies here in the city, like really crazy guys. And just do like a dinner at night, dude. Something very casual, very chill.
Yeah.
But something that I'd like really enjoy, like just breaking it down for people, almost like old school, but in a better location. Small. Just like people so they can really dig in, ask questions. I can follow up with them, help them. Because I want to see some people find and build their own new shit. It's just fun. Like, it's just way more challenging, dude. I see some of these guys that have just cracked campaigns. They're sitting on a bunch of money. And it's like, dude, just take a break and figure out something dope. Yeah. Figure out something brand new, because also it's where the real cash is at.
And that's a scary part to be in, because there was a point a couple of years ago, bro, I fucking started doing really well, and then you get bored and you start throwing money at dumb ideas. Yeah. And then before you know, like, where the fuck did my cash go?
It's like
out of boredom.
It's an addiction.
Yeah.
You just need hustle. I need hustle. I need hustle.
Yeah.
Dude, you have so many people, especially recently with ACA and Medicare, right? They made millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to be like, all right, I'm not going to work for the next 6 months. I'm just going to look for opportunities. Yeah. It's hard, and Daniel and I have to do it. Whenever we have a run that ends when it was like PPP was done or ERC was done, all of a sudden you got to sit on your cash and just look, man, and be okay not being crazy in the game, and just spend the time to find the sick opportunity, because that's when you really find it. Like, I always tell people, like, dude, you're not going to find your next offer at Affiliate World or even at Geek Out or whatever. Your next offer is going to be a conference for doctors. Yeah. Your next offer is going to be at some random shit. Start going to conferences in other niches and just talking to people, seeing what's going on, researching, and find your wave, man. Like, really spend your time finding that big wave. Paddle out on a bunch of them. Some are too little, until you find like that fucking monster, and then just go.
Yeah, man, beautiful stuff. So Couple last things. James has a philosophy at his events: no douchebags allowed. You don't
No
give a fuck how much
douchebags.
money you're making.
Don't care.
And I can tell you one thing: I've never seen. I did. I think you said one time there was one or two, and you guys kicked them out. Like, here,
Yeah.
here's your money
There's
back.
people not invited back.
Yeah.
We've had sponsors we've turned down. Like, yo, we're not going to work with you. Like,
Yeah.
we just don't care, dude. Like, no douchebags, no egos, and sharing is caring has been the things that we've really stuck with the entire time.
And I say that because a lot of times, sometimes people are intimidated by going to these places. I can say for the first time, maybe I was too. I remember because I was like, man, these motherfuckers, this guy's doing 30, 50 million a year. Well, who am I, right? But like, bro, everyone was so welcoming. And I left there feeling like, wow, this was great. You know, back when I first started, like I had that mentality, but it felt good to be welcomed by everybody. It's very welcoming, and you got to spend money to make money, invest in yourself. So I'm excited about this. I can't wait to hear more. And then when that's out there, we'll let everyone know, because I'm a big believer in, like you did with me, the more you give, the more that'll come back to you. And guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it was for James, man. I don't know. I started my company as a side hustle. It was solar direct marketing, and it just grew and grew and grew and grew. Now I got all these other verticals, but that was like, those were key moments. That was like an LFG moment for me, man, where we got together. I saw a campaign scale. You know, we went this, we did this, we did all that shit, but like it worked. And then we did other stuff together. And then, bro,
Exactly,
it's just a beautiful thing. So from the bottom of my heart, man, thank you so much.
Oh, brother,
Yeah,
of course,
really mean a lot
100%.
to me,
Thank you
man.
for me, bro. You made me a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, we
I
worked-
met a lot of people. We did a lot of shit together.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we made money together more than once, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's something special. It's a special connection, man.
And we're going to do more of that. So, guys, this episode, listen every fucking single minute. Hit up James. We'll let you know when the event's going to be. Geek Out, when is the Geek Out? Next
Geek
one?
Out's gonna be beginning of November.
Beginning
I
of
think
November.
First week of November.
Okay, LA.
Yes.
Huge event. I can't emphasize that enough. Hit up James. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Love it, man. That was a banger, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Bro, it
Appreciate
really
that.
engaging, man. Shit.
Thank you.